guys, and welcome to a special edition of the Take 3 Reactor Summit, where we're going to be talking about the Patreon page, which just launched, supposed to have launched today, which is why we planned on doing this today. Instead, it launched yesterday, so now we're late to the not party, because that's another channel.
And it's trademarked.
Yeah, pretty sure. So we're late to the Schmoedown Patreon review game. It's okay. It's cool, guys. It's not a big deal. We only planned this out for days. Anyway, I have a wonderful panel with me today to talk about the Patreon, and so let's meet who they are. And we got Matt Kearns. Everyone knows Matt Kearns. How's it going?
Okay. I'm doing great. Really excited to look at this Patreon. We've been hearing about this forever. Harloff wanted to do this. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what I could possibly get if I ever get the funds to support a Patreon. So, yes.
Yeah, that's always a hassle. It's actually having money. Someone who maybe has money is Chris Dohmen. Do you have money?
Well, I mean, I like to think I have a little bit of money, at least enough to where I can give to the Schmoedown, support something that I love dearly, something that I am more than happy to support, not just with great content, but also with just being part of a community that I adore and love.
Absolutely. And making us all nervous because you never know what he's going to do. The true wild card of Take 3. Abe, how's it going?
You really had to go there?
I did, every time.
I'm doing fantastic. I'm ready to talk about the patron of the Schmoedown. Real excited and see what goodies it's going to have for this season.
Yes. And I mean, that's a great transition, Abe, because there are plenty of goodies for us to look at on the Patreon itself. And I mean, it's already at almost 1,000 patrons. It's 987 at the time of me opening this window. And so, I mean, it's been out for about a day, and 991 I just refreshed. So that's awesome.
Oh, wow.
So it's just really cool to see this thing take off as fast as it has already. And I'm really happy that all the fans are embracing it and embracing the Schmoedown. Are you guys kind of feeling the same way about how fast this thing is growing?
I'm absolutely not surprised, because when you have a bunch of fans who are as passionate as ourselves and all the belts and late to the party are, I mean, it only makes sense. It only makes sense that these fans would show their support and would be this willing to just give to a great cause that we all truly admire.
Yeah, definitely. Completely agree. Matt, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, that's awesome that only like within a day they've pretty much gotten close to what, you know, they wanted to get, and they're probably going to well exceed it by, I'm pretty sure, the end of February. It's just really cool that the Schmoedown has such a supportive fan base of the show that if you give us an opportunity to help make the show better, we're going to do it to the best of our abilities. Even if someone's just pledging $1, you know, that dollar is going to go towards something, you know, something great. So I'm really looking forward to what this Patreon can do to improve the Schmoedown.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I think that this is a great opportunity for all the fans to kind of take an active role in how the Schmoedown is shaped in the near future. Abe, what are your thoughts on this?
The Patreon is going to be a reflection of the passion the Schmoedown fans have for the show and the sport of it. And it's definitely showing this, well, first, I don't know, 36 hours of it. Like, they're reaching their first goal. They're on halfway, and probably by the end of next week, they're going to reach the goal and have this Schmoedown as good as it can get.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this is a great opportunity for this thing to just really grow and be even more impressive than it was this year. So let's look at these tiers, because there are quite a lot of tiers And I mean, they are everything from like $1 to like a couple grand. So there's something here for everybody, guys. So at $1, you get access to the patron feed. So that's where they put all of their posts from like the Schmoedown official. And so you basically get also, I knew what I was going to say and then it just went away. One patron a month at this level will receive something at random. So a t-shirt, a picture, Brian Ward official Schmoedown art, stuff like that. And it's completely at random, and it's basically you'll get it the month after you're announced that you get it. It's awesome. You get announced on the rundown, so extra plus your name gets set on the rundown. And I mean, that's just a really cool tier. And it's a great way to incentivize people to even give just $1, because it seems very like, you know, it doesn't seem enough to give $1. Like, oh, I might as well just not donate if all I can give is $1. But every person who gives $1, that adds up. And you don't think it's a lot until you think about all the other people contributing. I think this is a great way to get people incentivized to even give just $1. What do you guys think about this, Abe?
Well, for $1, I have $1 right here. I found it in my couch right now. It's just $1. You're entering a raffle to win really good things, especially those Ryan Ward posters that everybody loves. And I'm wondering if you can get a Patriots poster signed by Above the Line. It will be fun if you ask for it. And it's so good. The t-shirts are fair. And as Kristen said, even though it may seem a little bit, but it's building. But let's say by the end of the month, we have 1,000 persons giving $1. You have $1,000 for the Patreon, and it's all good.
Definitely, absolutely, exactly what I think. Chris, do you have any thoughts on this?
Absolutely. I mean, like this is the perfect opening tier for doing such an active campaign. Because what exactly? I'm glad Freya agrees with me on that one. But no, like just something as simple as a raffle. It tells the audience that Christian's #1 priority is to give us great matches and to give back to the fans who will go above and beyond the Call of Duty. Because remember, guys, if you are unable to commit to this, it's not a problem. No one is guilty of anything. But the fact of the matter is, if you are able to and you are willing to, you will be rewarded for it in some way, shape, or form. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a great way to put it. Matt, what are your thoughts on this tier?
I think this is great. I think, like you and Abe said, giving $1 does go its way, because if you have, 1,000 people giving $1 a month, that's $1,000. And I think it's also great because usually, I look at Patreon, Kickstarter stuff a lot, and usually for $1, it's always the same thing where it's like the description is always, you don't get anything, but thanks for supporting our thing. I like that Christian and Mark and Brian I know is helping with the Patreon. Go Brian. I like how they decided to do something to where even if you're giving just $1, you're helping the show and you can get rewarded. You get put into this raffle to get cool, Schmoedown, trading cards. What? A Brian Ward Schmoedown poster. I would love to have that Mark Yodi Riley poster on my wall. I'm surprised I don't already. Also, this is about probably the entry level tier I would be supporting if I had $1 to give every month. So that's great.
Yeah, and that's the thing everyone should realize about the Patreon. This is for people who can donate, for people who have the extra funds, don't feel pressured into doing it, don't feel bad if all you can give is $1. It's just a way to show your appreciation for them and say, hey, I'm willing to help you guys out to make a better product. But no one should ever feel like they have to do this. And so if you don't have the money, it's okay. Just breathe. When you get the money, you can always join later. So moving on, the $2 one. I love these tiers because even $1 and $2, you get so much stuff. So at $2, you get a monthly Patreon only broadcast. So this is something that's either by Christian or Thad, and it's going to be kind of a State of the Union-esque video where they go over everything about the Schmoedown, and it's going to be every month. So you get a nice monthly update from whoever the active commissioner is, apparently, on where the Schmoedown is and where it's going. I think that's awesome. Plus, you get all the earlier benefits, so you get into that drawing that the $1 people get. It's really cool. I think this is awesome. I love the idea of having like something on here that only the Patreon people can get, that we can hear, potential upcoming matches that no one else has heard yet. I mean, I think this is really cool. Chris, what do you think about this tier?
This is a wonderful little tier, and again, to show how dedicated Christian and Thad and the Collider crew are to the fans, it's them basically saying, hey, listen, again, you don't have to support this with your money, but if you are going to, you know what? Again, not only are we going to give you free stuff, but we're going to get involved with you. We're going to let you know, hey, this is what we got going on in the future. Stay tuned for it. This is something that's going to be really just awesome. And I find it really cool that, this is one of the, this is the $2 tier, and yet there's so much you're already getting. This is so much bang for your buck, and as we'll continue to go down the line, I'm pretty sure we'll be sounding a little bit like a broken record. Maybe some, but to be fair, this was actually a great campaign, and we're obviously just here to give our thoughts on it, so that's why you clicked on the video.
We're obviously just here to give promotion. Free promotion. Hooray. Matt, what are your thoughts about the $2 tier of Patreon?
I think this is great. I think the monthly broadcast is it's a great idea for Patreon subscribers. I think that's what they're calling it. I think it's something
Patrons.
to sort of incentivize. Yeah. I can't speak right now. To get people to want to do this, because Thad or Christian or Tom or whoever is the commissioner at the time doing this monthly broadcast, you're going to get this broadcast, which is going to be an update on where the league is. I'm fairly certain, knowing Christian, he's probably going to drop stuff in this that's going to be like, there's a match coming up next month. It's, I don't know, Chris Stuckman is returning to the Schmoedown or something. Like, you're going to get exclusives through this, and I think it's great. Again, like the $1 tier with being able to have a raffle, only giving $2 a month, you get this monthly broadcast, and you get to be on the inside. I think it's great that they're giving a lot, even if you're not giving like $2. You might be thinking, oh, I'm just giving $2, this is nothing, but it's like they're showing you that it is something by giving you access to this broadcast.
Definitely. And I think that it's just great that they came up with a lot of really creative and interesting tiers here, even at the very beginning. I think that these are some of the best tiers that I've ever seen on Patreon. And there's really something for everybody. Abe, what were your thoughts on this one?
Well, for $2, you're getting updates from the people in charge of the Schmoedown, and there's no better way to get them from the people working on it. And it's also great because you are, if I understand correctly, you're also entering the raffle of the $1 tier, so you're getting two good things for just $2. For I don't know, 2 pickups in 7-Eleven, those are $2, and you're getting all the benefits you can.
That's that's a very funny reference you brought up there, Abe. Is there a certain competitor you wanted to call out with that reference?
No.
Well, Abe, if you could pull out $4,000 at some point,
I can pull out $2,000.
All right, if you pull out a couple $1,000s out of wherever you're keeping your money, I think that would be really nice.
It's all on my desk.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Well, I hope you just have that lying around in pennies or something.
Well, it's not mine.
Oh, perfect. He robbed a bank. So, monthly newsletter. So, this is the $3 subscription. And this is what you get, obviously, if you sign up for the $3 a month option. And it's where you get, on top of everything else, a monthly newsletter that gets put right on the Patreon. And it's going to talk about, all the stuff, all the Schmoedown stuff and, specifics and statistics. And I think it'll be really cool. And so, it could also feature like a competitor highlight, stuff like that. I think this is stuff that we haven't gotten yet from like the official Schmoedown. We've got a lot from fans, but the official Schmoedown really hasn't done something like this. And I think it's really cool. Looking forward to seeing this every month because it'll make, some of our jobs easier commentating on things, so that'll be nice. But Abe, what were your thoughts on this tier? And you got
As you
$3
said, this is great. This is great for people trying to cover the Schmoedown this season because it facilitates them a way to pull stats and everything from, I guess, Frank Janish, and you get a different another view in the Schmoedown regarding math. And see how your favorite competitors do. And only for $3. I don't have $3, but I have a $5 bill and cut it like that. And you have 3.
I don't think that's how money works, but that's okay. That's fine. Matt, can you tell us how money works?
Well, since I'm not a patron of the Schmoedown, I don't think I know how money works. So, no, I can't really help. But I can tell you my feelings on the $3 a month Patreon tier, which is, this is great. I think this is really cool, like, especially the, like, blog from a competitor. Like, I'm just imagining, like, there could be a lot of cool stuff, like, having, like, JT and Snyder do one for Team Patriots like before their next title match and sort of like talk about what it's like defending the belt for whatever time it's going to be, or a Roxy or an Emma or a Tom who's a manager and talking about what it's like being a manager, like getting a blog from one of them, because we don't really know what do you do as a manager in the Schmoedown, and maybe getting a blog where they sort of talk about the day in the life of a Schmoedown manager, or maybe even from a competitor who has stepped back and is retired right now, a Riley, a Harloff, one of them talking about what it's kind of like looking at the Schmoedown from the other side. I think this is something really cool.
Actually, follow-up question with that. How would you like to, personally, Matt, I'm asking you because I know you're a fan of, Dagnino and Kalinowski and all them.
Mm-hmm.
How would, just hypothetical, how would you personally do that monthly newsletter? Would it just be, 1 month it's a team, 1 month it's a player, 1 month it's a manager,
I guess I would do, I would definitely say, before the Patriots' next match, I would say if you could get Snyder and JT to do one, I think that'd be cool. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to mix it up. Sort of 1 month have a manager be talking, 1 month have a team, 1 month have a singles competitor, and sort of, especially if you get a Rachel Cushing, who competes in
everything
except for Star Wars, she competes in everything. Sort of talk about how do you prepare and how do you study when you're in so many different leagues. I think it'd just be something really cool that we haven't gotten from the Schmoedown yet.
Cool.
Well, Chris, what do you think about this year?
Well, to be fair, I actually kind of gave my thoughts in the form of my question to Matt, but no, like I said, I think this is a great idea, and it's a great idea because of what it can lead to, and maybe if they format it, I'm not saying they have to do it the way I suggested, because let's face facts, I never give a bright idea in my life, but I do think there is something to maybe trying to have it where, especially with as much talent as we have, let's say in May when if Taylor Robinson makes her Geekdom debut, like have her do the monthly newsletter and talk about coming from being a fan who did reactions to now competing in the Schmoedown. I don't know, something like that. Just as long as it leads to a wide variety of people, that's kind of all I really want to see.
Yeah, I think that this is a good opportunity for us to learn more about competitors and about the Schmoedown as a whole, and to get some cool perspectives as well. Another thing that will help us to learn more about the Schmoedown and get some cool perspectives is the $5 tier, which is the behind the scenes tier. So this is where they're going to post like a promo video or a behind the scenes video every month for the $5 subscribers. I think this is awesome. I love all their behind the scenes stuff because there is so much interesting things that happen that you don't get to see when you're not there. And it is just so much fun seeing the production of the Schmoedown and seeing the people who get to work on it that you don't see on camera. I think that's awesome that we're going to get this as a tier. I'm really looking forward to this footage. I think it's just awesome. I love all their behind the scenes stuff they have done so far. So I think that this could be really cool. And, Chris, what do you think about this tier? And what do you hope you get to see on this?
Oh, good Lord. Where to start? I mean, again, but by this point, this is when we need to realize that we're practically spoiled, but I mean that in the best way possible. Like, because, for a lot of the Collider fans who, really miss behind the scenes and bloopers, the show that Perry did, what was always, of course, one of my favorite highlights was whenever she covered the Schmoedown, like when she did Collision or when she did Roka versus Riley 3, and the fact that this can now be a regular thing, I'm stoked. I'm so happy because yes, Kristen, from having the privilege of being able to be there for Spectacular, it was great to see that, but I'll be honest, I want everybody else to kind of start seeing what we want to see. Unless you want to stay as far away from the behind the scenes as possible, which that's fair. That's awesome. That's cool. But for those of you guys who are more like myself and you love seeing the behind the scenes and seeing how things work and are put together, come on. This is, please. Yes.
Yeah, I loved the Perry behind the scenes stuff. And yes, I do miss it, but I think that this is a good opportunity to bring some of that flavor back in a way that actually works because it's going to be part of the Patreon. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but do I hope that's going to happen? Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I do. I know someone in here who is a Perry fan though. Matt, what do you like about this tier? And do you hope that this just becomes Perry's Schmoedown behind the scenes segment?
Yeah, no, I think you guys brought that up. I think that'd be a great idea because I think the episodes she did were some of the best because you got to see a lot of stuff that you would only see if you were there. And it's cool because there's so much that goes into production of matches. It's cool to sort of see how, like, to me, the most interesting thing was in the Riley Roka 3 one was when Harloff sort of showed how they do the pre-match smack talk. And sort of see that it's actually Christian. It's not just someone getting on a mic and just rambling off stuff. It's him asking questions and sort of trying to get cool quotes out of them. So I think this would be awesome. This is definitely the tier that once I get my funds together, I'm probably going to go the $5 one because this is like, I'm a bit, again, I still buy Blu-rays to get all behind the scenes stuff. So this is like right in my wheelhouse and especially for a show I love so much and that hopefully one day, like you and Chris, I'll get to see a match live. This would be a really cool thing to kind of see the inner workings of the Schmoedown on a more monthly basis.
Definitely. And I particularly went to Abe last because I think it's hilarious that he has $5 on top of his head. Abe, what do you think about the $5 tier of the Schmoedown Patreon?
In my opinion, this is where the things start getting juicy because everyone Schmoedown, it's hard to wait 3 days just to watch another match. It's for me, it's killing me. Like I'm waiting on Tuesday at 2 p.m. sitting on my computer just to watch a match, and this is where things start getting, because I'm getting more modern content or the podcast we all do. We're getting behind the scenes, like to see what's going on in the studio, and as you mentioned, the Perry segments on behind the scenes in Collider were great. Seeing and even the Tell the Dude documentary of the spectacular, it was fantastic seeing the crowd, seeing the reaction, seeing how Christian managed the event and everything, and it's really excited to see it.
I love that we're all in agreement on everything. I mean, we don't even need a panel because we all love everything. That's how you know something's good. Moving on, we have the $10 tier. So this is the one that I'm at. I need to relook at my books. Maybe I have some more money in there to give, but at the moment, I got $10. So that's what I'm signed up at. And this is the special monthly Patreon match tier. So this is where every month you get a match put on the Patreon. Don't worry, people who can't get that $10. It will be on YouTube, but you'll have to wait a week for it. And this is just something to give everyone a little bit more incentive to get that $10. And this, you actually, like, you can spoil this match. You can tweet about it. You can post about it. You can talk all about it to all your friends who don't have this tier, and everyone else has to feel real bad. Does it make me feel good about having the $10 tier? Maybe a little bit, but you know, that's okay, guys. It's all good. You'll get to watch it eventually. And the thing is, you're still getting your normal not 4, because 2 a week, but you're still getting your normal 2 a week match schedule. And this is an additional match. So it's just something extra that everyone gets to get, some people a week earlier than others. You know, Matt, what do you think about this tier, and are you excited about these additional matches?
I'll pour one tier out for me and all the people who can't afford to see these matches early. But this is great. Was the thing pretty much every fan either still talks about or at one point has said, we just want more matches. This tier is that. This tier is an extra match. And it's, you know, we saw Kristen, I believe, today on social media posted that he wants to do Makuga versus Nick Scarpino, which is probably going to be such a funny match. And this is, I think this is just a great year because it kind of works for everyone because you get more Schmoedown matches. Also, the fact I do like that Christian is not he's not punishing fans who don't have the funds, sadly, to be able to support the Patreon by saying like, oh, you can't see these matches, but he's also rewarding the people who are able to pay for it, you know, who get to see a week early and can talk about it. So I think it works out for everyone in the end. And this is just, I think it's a great idea. I think it's going to lead to a lot of interesting matchups for the Patreon matches, and I'm looking forward to see what comes of this.
Yeah, I love that first match that Christian announced. I think that it is kind of the match that I've been waiting for since Scarpino debuted. In my head, I was like, oh my God, him against Makuga would just be hilarious. And yeah, I cannot wait. I think that thing's going to be just the bomb.com, to date myself to a reference that hasn't been popular in over a decade. All right, Abe, what do you think about the $10 tier of Schmoedown?
This is where I am right now. Well, I don't have a $10 bill, but I have a $20 bill in half just to represent the 10. But I wonder, my question for this tier is wondering what kind of matches are we going to get there? We're going to get title matches. What kind of match? My prediction is that the Wildberries are going to be the headliners of Patreon matches. We're going to see Elliot, we're going to see Makuga, and we're going to see the Wildberries headline all Patreon matches. Just fun little matches that you can just sit back, relax, and watch.
I honestly hope that that's true, because I would love to have one match a month that's just like Makuga or the Wildberries. I think that that's like the coolest sounding thing in the whole world. Chris, what are your thoughts on this, and what potential matches do you want to see?
So actually, much like yourself and Abe, this is also the tier that I'm currently subscribed to. If I made a little more cash in my job, I would be a little bit higher, but hey, you know what? I'm glad to give where I can. So, okay. Let me make something perfectly clear. I'm not trying to be overly critical when I say this. I do see a potential backlash of the fans who are on the Patreon be allowed to talk about it on like the Facebook group and on Twitter when they're when other people who are not subscribed to the Patreon haven't seen those early distributed matches yet. I'm not trying to say that, oh, well, that's a terrible idea. It's just like, no. That's a good idea. Like, you should be allowed to talk about it. Maybe, but I would say maybe just try to encourage the people who are able to talk about it. Just don't necessarily give spoilers, and that's kind of a common courtesy thing amongst the fandom and that towards us. I trust most of you guys who are in the Facebook group to not be like that, but just a reminder to maybe a couple people who just need a little refresher on that. And yeah, come on, Bakuga and the Wildberries, come on. Let's see some of those Patreon matches. But also, I think this could be a great place to put some of the undercard matches ahead of time. So that way, what you could do to maybe even hype up a big match even more, which is a doubleheader, have your undercard be exclusively on Patreon for for that first week, and then a week later it gets dropped publicly with the main event. That might be an idea. So who knows?
Yeah, only time will tell. I'm not actually sure when these monthly things are going to start coming out. Obviously, if you did join the day early, then your first payment was today. And so will the first set of monthly things come out this month? Or will we have to wait until March? I think we probably are waiting till next month just because they have to produce all this stuff. But maybe they already have it all produced and they're just waiting to put it out there. So I guess you never know. I'm looking forward to this. I think these matches have a great opportunity because they're catering to the diehard fans already by putting it on the Patreon. You can put some people in there who wouldn't normally get a match on the channel, or like debut people. That way, when they do actually get onto the Collider channel, they have support behind them and stuff like that. I think that's a cool idea. But we do have our next tier at $20. This is the on-air thank you. So what's going to happen with this is your name will get added to credits at the end, and you can take a picture of it and show your mom. She'll be super proud of you, and you can put it on the MTS page, and we'll all be proud of you. And even more importantly, this is a great way to show the Patreon supporters that everything that they're contributing is completely worthwhile, and I think it'll be really cool. So this is going to be something that I think is really nice, not necessarily something that I have to have, right? Like, I don't need the recognition for doing the Patreon. Like, it's just my choice. But there are some people out there who do want that recognition. There's nothing wrong with that. This is probably the tier for you. What do you guys think about this, Abe?
Okay, I think we for next month we should contact Kristen and tell him to change the name of this title to Show Off, because you're gonna be able to show off to your friends, to your family, people who are also fans of the Schmoedown, that you're part of it. You're not only a fan, you're helping, paying for it, making it bigger and good, and it's excited for people, as Kristen said, to get the recognition they, in my opinion, deserve for helping this product.
Well said.
Absolutely. I think that's a good idea. I mean, changing the name of it, let's call it what it is. What are you going to do with this? I'm going to take a screenshot of it, and I'm going to show everyone I know how awesome it was that my name was in the credits of the Schmoedown once a month. Chris, what did you think about this one?
See, now this is the one that I was going to go for, not because, I'm all Mr. Vanity and like, ooh, hey, look at me, I'm on the credits of the Schmoedown. Look, Take the Productions was already on the end credits of the Spectacular. That was enough for me. And no, for me, I would have done this one just because I'm in love with the Schmoedown. But no, this is a great tier, and this is a great way for the fans to get something back for them that, yeah, sure, that it does come with a little bit of pride, but hey, you know what? Sometimes sometimes the best feeling you get is when you help something that you are truly passionate about and you actually help it get off the ground to where you want it to get to. Dude, there's not a better feeling in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, and but I would have gone with this tier as well, just because it's like the next one up that I can afford. But yeah, money.
Bills.
So bills, mortgage, things like that. Long words that are terrible. Matt, what did you think about this tier?
I think this is a great tier. I'm not going to assume, but they might have taken a suggestion from Josh McCouga, because I know on his Patreon he has a tier that he does this as well. So at the end of every episode of the Josh McCouga show, there is a thanks to every Patreon. I think it's just a great idea. I think it's something that for those fans who are paying $20 up to just at the end of every match, just sort of your name is there, and it's showing that you're helping to support the show, and that match that they just put on, you help to fund it. I think it's a great idea. It's a great incentive for people who really would love to see that.
We got a mom cameo by Chris. It's awesome. We love Chris's mom. We also do want to let everyone know that Chris did get his name in particular in the Schmoedown already at Spectacular. Chris Dohmen, MVP of Spectacular, Chris Dohmen.
Hashtag justice for Dohmen. It is a real thing.
I just want to say I wasn't the one that bring that up, so.
I was. I call you Chris Dohmen all the time. I think it's the funniest thing in the whole world.
Yes, she does, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
but insulting at the same time.
Guess I just don't care.
Nor should you. Nor should you.
I do what I want.
Nor should you.
All right, so the next tier, and this is the one that I want, but good Lord, I can't afford $50 a month. This is the exclusive of the month tier. This is seriously, I want this tier so bad. You get a piece of mail every month from the Schmoedown. That this can be a postcard written from your favorite competitor. It could be a t-shirt. It could be I don't know, a piece of hair from Josh McCouga's head. We don't know. It could be anything. I'm hoping they don't do anything gross, because that maybe I don't want it anymore if it's going to be like that. But you know what? This sounds really cool to me. I would love to just open my mailbox and be like, oh, Bill, junk, Schmoedown.
What?
That would be awesome. That would make me feel so special. I don't know about the rest of you guys. Matt, what do you think about this tier?
Oh, I would love to be able to give $50 to Schmoedown a month and then go into my mail and see junk, another person trying to give me a student credit card. Oh, a postcard from Mark Riley? That'd be awesome. That'd be a really cool thing. I don't really know
retire.
What exactly. This is definitely a cool tier. Hey, what do you think about this?
I think it's fantastic. It's like you're starting to get a Schmoedown gear, and you can show off too. And I'm wondering, you get the benefits of the lowest tires. You get to show off you get to get a Schmoedown gear. You know, you can show off with your, I don't know, with your phone, your screenshot of your name in the Schmoedown, wearing, I don't know, a Wildman t-shirt and a JT hat. You know, they should raffle a JT hat. I want one.
Hey, I think that it should be like a $5 hat. Like you can just wear it on top of your head like a $5
Well,
bill.
these are 60.
I can't. Well,
we're not there yet.
Well,
I
I don't have $10 bills. So.
Oh, I couldn't see what it was. Sorry. Well, you know, I think that that's a new fashion trend. I think dollars are definitely, when you wear them on your head, more useful than spending them. Chris, what do you think about this tier here?
I mean, yeah, of course. Who wouldn't love to get a personalized item from the Schmoedown folks? I mean, sure. Would I love to? Would I love to? Hell, actually, this would be kind of my dream thing. I would love to get like a sheet. Like I'd love to get a printed version of all the questions from the Iron Man match, and just like if they could send them all with the answers blanked out, that way I would have to answer it myself just to because again that was a very intense match and went very quickly, so I forgot a lot of those questions. I'd love a reminder. So and that's just something that as a stupid Star Wars fanboy, but also as a stupid fanboy of the Schmoedown, that'd be something I'd really like. But no, for $50, like this is that's a very fair trade-off where again it's a personalized item for you.
Yeah, I think that this is really cool. I mean, this is the tier I want. If I could justify $50, I absolutely would. My dream thing would be like something really obscure. You get it. It's like a postcard. On the back it's just like clues to some website where you get to see like drunk Frank videos or something. I don't know.
It's the URL to bobfinstock.com.
Just real cool things, just I think that would be cool. But that's just me. Like I want to work to get something fun out of it anyway, obviously. So there you go. So the next tier, and this one I think is also really cool. You get for $60 to choose a wheel slice for an upcoming match. So this is basically you can kind of control the match, and this is any match. It can be a top competitors match or a top contender match. It can be a championship match. This is such a game-changing level, and it is limited, so not everyone can sign up for it. But my God, the chaos people can throw into these matches. Just evil people can just really troll the Schmoedown so hard. And if you have a favorite competitor has a match coming up, like if Rachel was going up against JTE, say, tomorrow, and you really wanted her to win, you put something on that wheel that she's great at that JTE sucks at. Say, Lord of the Rings. Ooh. I think that's the kind of level of fan I think that is going to attract that tier, the level of fan that thinks, I want my competitors to win and I'll do anything to make that happen. I think this is fantastic. And it will cause so much chaos. And the best part about this is, it's just going to cause so much panic. I love it. I love it so much. Matt, what do you think about this tier?
No, I think a new name for this tier could be fanboy, fangirl, or troll tier, because you can either be a fanboy or fangirl for a competitor, and like, say for me, Kalinowski has a match, I'm going to make sure DC movies or something is on the wheel, or if someone's playing and I don't care who wins, I'm going to make sure that Jean-Claude Van Damme is on that wheel. Like, this is something... similar to when fans started being able to submit questions for the Schmoedown and on reactions, we're not sure if that was a Chris Liskey question or a fan one. Now we're going to see if a competitor gets a category that they don't like. We're going to sit there and have to ponder, who's the fan that possibly could have put that on there? This is going to make things very interesting for the Schmoedown going forward. But I love this tier. This is as we get into the higher up tiers, these are ones where I'm like, I would love to be able to pay, but I know I would probably not be able to in the near future.
Yeah, this is cool. I definitely can never afford this tier, but I love it so much. Hey, what did you think about this tier?
Well, this is where you start pulling the strings of the game, and this is where it gets interesting. As Matt said, you want to screw someone? Well, screw the Patriots and put an opponent's choice in their match. Because they don't I wonder if it's possible in championship matches because they don't like doing that and you're screwing them. Or I don't know, put rom-coms or something really hard for people that you don't like. Or put this. I will do that because I'm a bad person. I will help someone. I will screw someone.
All right. Hey, that'll work out. And I love that evil spirit, Abe. I think that works really well for you. Chris, what did you think about this tier?
What? What evil spirit? Oh, trust me. What Abe would do is nothing compared to what I would do. If somehow I was able to afford this one, actually, who am I kidding? I would use this one to help the people that I care about. Like, for example, if I saw Above the Line was in a match, I would put my money towards having movie release dates on the wheel. I would put my money towards, if Rachel's up, I'd put it towards Lord of the Rings being an option, or if someone out there was an animation fan, I'd make sure that they could get an animation category.
Jason Inman.
Yeah, Inman. Fair enough. But no, like this is one of those. Now I'm very glad this is limited to 10 spots because I'm scared to see the kind of power that the fans could truly have in this kind of event. But again, this will be interesting to see what people choose to do with this down the line, because essentially Christian is actually willing to give you guys the power, so don't abuse it.
I do have one. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I have one thing to add, which is just because I was re-looking over this. It says that if you purchase this tier, you cannot submit the same category consecutively. So you can't every match be saying, I don't know, what's the category? Pretty much everyone. Like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah, movie releases, you can't put it on every single match. That is just something to keep in mind if you're doing this to be a heelish kind of
a ne'er-do-well, if you will.
Yes, a ne'er-do-well. Just keep that in mind.
But something to keep in mind, though, if I ever make my Schmoedown debut, I'm kidding. I'm not even going to go there. So, yeah.
Okay, Matt, did you have any additional thoughts on this, or just ones?
Just that you know what my additional thoughts are, and it's the same for all the tiers. This is just awesome that this is happening.
Perfect. Hey, that's a great thought. You could say that every tier from now on, and I think it would be great commentary, actually. You can give actual commentary. The 100, now we're moving into the things that I really, really, really can't afford. And so $100 a month is too much for me. But thank you from a competitor. So every 3 months that you're signed up for this tier, you will get a personal video saying thank you from someone in the Schmoedown crew. This could be anyone. And so it's a bit of a surprise. You might get, Mark Andreyko. You might get Finstock. You might get, who knows, RB3. He's a cool guy. Like, you could get anybody. It's just really cool. And, this is a great way for you to get just something a little bit extra. And, it is every 3 months that you're signed up for it. So you're not getting it every month. But it is still pretty cool. I think it's awesome that they're doing this. I can't afford it. So I'll just imagine thank yous from the Schmoedown crew in my mind, as I do every night before I fall asleep. And, that's okay. That's okay. Matt, what do you think about this tier? And if you got a personal thank you from someone on the Schmoedown crew, who would it be?
Yeah, I think this is a really cool tier. I think for the fans that are able to give $100 every month to Schmoedown, this is something really cool that they get this. I mean, yeah, I would love if I was able to give $100. That what is it? Just looking here again. Every 3 consecutive months, I would open up my Patreon and I would see Mark Riley saying, "Hey, thank you," or "Team Action," or the Wild Bears or something. This is, sort of similar to the postcards we were talking about in the earlier tier. This is just those little exclusives and those little just like personal sort of like thank yous. It just sort of makes the fans who are going a little bit more above and beyond other fans, sort of it gives them that sort of reward. So I think this is a great tier.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just something to go a little above and beyond for some of these fans. Abe, do you have $100? I'm curious to see if you have 100.
I do.
Oh my gosh!
Well, it's not my money. It's my mom's
rent.
money.
Whose money is it?
My mom's.
Oh well, tell your mom she's got a lot of money lying around. What did you think about this tier? And if you had a thank you from a Schmoedown, a competitor or crew member, who would it be?
Who would it be? It would be Tom Dagnino, because he's the coolest one. But this is a way. We're all part of the Movie Trivia Schmoedown Facebook group to have interaction with fans, but we also hope to interact with competitors. And this is one of the ways you get to interact with the competitors, even though you're having a one-on-one conversation. They're saying your name and they're thanking you personally. And in the next tire, you can see that in the Skype call. But it's a fantastic way, and I love the little picture they have in the tire of Finstock and JT. Good times there. I miss Finstock.
Yeah, no, that'd be a fun time. I'm not gonna lie. If I could sit down with that with the actual Finstock, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all miss Finstock. It's cool. It's cool. Chris, did I ask you yet?
I'll give my thoughts. Why not?
I didn't ask you yet. Okay, feel free. What are your thoughts?
It's all right. It's all right, Kristen. No, like this is again, if I personally had the money to do this every single month, I would do it. And the thank you video would just be the icing on the cake for me. I would do it because it's something I would want to do. But I'm not gonna lie, hearing a thank you from from Christian or from William Bibiani or from John Roca or from Top 10 combined, or hell, you know what? Like I said, I would love to get a thank you video from Finstock. Not Tom Dagnino, let me be clear, but from Finstock. But, this is, again, this is a great reward system for people who do have a little extra cash in their wallet and are more than happy to support the Schmoedown for maybe bringing them some kind of joy. And if they honestly feel like the Schmoedown is worth that much to them, dude, go for it. Awesome. More power to you.
Yeah, I agree. I think this tier is great. I don't know who I would want my thank you from. I would kind of just want it to be random. But if it was maybe like Clark Wolf, I feel like that would make me feel real happy if she was just like, Kristen, you're the best in the whole world. Thank you. I would just be like, yeah, that would be great.
I'm so sad we didn't see her. Spectacular.
I know, me too. All right, moving on from our hopes and dreams of meeting competitors.
To our hopes and dreams of meeting competitors.
Yeah, too much. Moving on to the $120 tier. Now, this is another one of those 3 consecutive tiers, but let me tell you, this one is definitely worth that 300 or however much, 360. It's too late for math. Too late for math. I did math all day at work. I don't need to do it when I get home. So this is definitely worth your $360 because you get a Skype call with a Schmoedown competitor, one of the elite Schmoedown people. And in here it says it can be anyone from Mike Kalinowski to Bobby Gucci. It could be anybody. You don't know who it could be, but you do get that Skype call with them. And let me tell you, if they're doing the Skype call from the Collider office, you literally do not know who is going to jump on that call. You could be just talking with Mark Riley, and then all of a sudden in walks Mark Ellis, and then you've got a Skype call with two people. You never know. But this tier, I think, is really fun because you can ask them anything you want. Like, you can just sit down and talk BS with them for 15 minutes. It's something that you get to control, kind of, and it's your conversation with them. No one else has to jump in on it. You get that little one-on-one time with these guys. It's really, really cool. Matt, what do you think about this tier?
This is a really cool tier, and for someone who has been lucky enough to have some Skype conversations with some competitors, and it's really cool to sort of have that face-to-face with them, and to sort of be able to and like Kristen said when I interviewed Mark Riley, that suck just popped up out of nowhere, so you literally don't know what's going to happen. I think, but I think this is really cool for like, I would love to be able to Skype with Clark Wolf or Scott Mance or Mike Kalinowski. This is just for the fans who are able to do this. I think this is just so cool that they would be able, because again, as someone who has been lucky enough to have done it, to be able to be on a Skype call and be able to talk to a competitor that you like, your favorite competitor, be able to tell them how much a fan you are. I think this is such a cool thing that Patreon is going to allow fans to do.
Definitely. I love it. And I've changed my answer to who I want my thank you from. I want it from Scott Mance, because there is no one in this world who can make a thank you more exciting than Scott Mance.
Yes.
Abe, who do you want to see in a 15-minute Skype call? And you have your $120 like already ready to go. So that's awesome.
Nice.
Oh, they're not mine. They're for paying the rent. But but who I want? Well, Scott Mance is a great answer. Actually, we wanted with the commissioner himself, because I have a lot of questions about the Schmoedown that I want to have answer. But this is fantastic. This is where I was saying before about you want to interact with competitors, and this is a great way to do it. Like, even though it's every 3 months, it's where fandom gets there. It's like the top as big as you can get. Like, talk with your competitor when you meet for us, they're celebrities. Like, they're heroes. We root for them. We want them to win. We want them to lose, and this is a great way to interact with them and meet them.
Definitely. And interacting with anyone who you see as, a celebrity or whatever is always just an amazing experience. And so, yeah, I wish I had more money. Chris, what did you think about this tier? Who would you want your 15-minute Skype call to be with?
Well, first off, I want my 15-minute Skype call with someone that I didn't get the luck to meet and shake their hand and say thank you for all you've done for the Schmoedown. That's a tough question, but actually no. Here's the thing: you guys have already said it, but you know what? The Mance Man. I would love nothing more than to just talk to Scott Mance for 15 minutes about the Schmoedown and what got him invested, and what drew him to it in the first place. And of course, I'd have to ask him, how the hell did you hate the Black Cauldron anyway? Great tier, and I'm glad this is an option available for us.
I'm resisting the urge to make a comment about the Black Cauldron. $150 that I don't have is where you can get your question used in round 1. Now, this isn't, you can still submit your questions to Chris Goliski. He would appreciate it, actually, because it means a little bit less research and work that he has to do. But, you can still submit them. But this is a guaranteed, your question will be asked in round 1. Not only that, they'll say your name after the question was asked. They'll say, like, you know, what year was Spider-Man 2 released? This was submitted by George Takei, who is obviously a big fan of the Schmoedown. But, you know,
That'd be amazing.
This is something where you don't just get your name in the credits. You don't get a personal thank you. You get your name said out loud during a Schmoedown match. Super cool. And you can ask any question you want. I mean, it has to be related to movies, and like they'll fact check it and they might edit it a bit and revise it for clarity, but it's your question. And you can ask about some obscure movie from the 50s. Who knows? I think this is really cool. I love this tier itself. I think that's just, like I said, I wish I had money. Chris, what do you think about this tier?
Oh, you just gave me a brilliant idea. If I ever had the money to do this, Kristen, where yes, I would probably take some not completely obscure, 50s movie, but maybe I'd pick one that maybe with like a critically acclaimed match. I would throw one in there. Maybe it's a film they talked about, but maybe not one that would be like super obvious and they'd have to think about it. Like that would be something really, really fun to do. And plus, anything to help out Skaliski. Because look, dude, brother,
Hermano.
you work so hard to do what you do. So, anything that we can really do to help take the pressure off you, absolutely happy to help.
Yeah, anything we can do to help you, Skaliski. I mean, the whole point of this, not just the point of this, is to do things like get Skaliski another writer so he doesn't have to write all of these matches himself. I mean, it's a lot of work to write all these questions, and he needs help. So that's one of the reasons the Patreon's around, is to give him some of that help. But this is also another way to give him some help. So that's cool too. Matt, what did you think about this? And if you were going to put a question in there, what would it be about?
I think this is a great tier. I think helping Chris is always a good thing because he's a great guy and he can use all the help he can get. And I think just start to have a question that everyone's going to know it's you. And so that could lead to something really funny to where, like, what if that is the point that, ends up affecting the match somehow or something that I just think that would be something hilarious. But I guess if I was able to pay money for this tier, definitely would get some more Armageddon questions in there. Probably a Tango and Cash, and a really deep cut Escape from New York. Probably be, probably one of those.
Not surprised.
Not surprised.
Abe, what do you think about this tier?
Well, I'm going to call this tier the show off master, like level 2 show off. Because if your name is saying the Schmoedown, you can play on a loop in front of your friends and, hey, Christian Hartov said my name. And put it as an alarm or something. Abraham Flores. But it's fantastic. There's a lot of movies that I love that there's never questions about them in the Schmoedown. And if you want to put, I don't know, I love Barton Fink and no one talks about Barton Fink. I want to put a Barton Fink question. There's my question. And let's see who can answer it.
There you go. I think that's definitely what the rest of us want to use it for. Just to see if competitors actually know anything about the movies that we like. This next one, I think, is like every person on the MTS's like dream. But it is $300 and you have to do it at least 2 months. So $600. It's a lot of money. This is where you get a one-on-one audition for the Schmoedown with Christian Harloff. Yeah. So this is something that not a lot of people get the opportunity to do. But he'll ask you trivia questions. He will test, how you are on the camera, if you have good promo skills, if you're not going to just like walk out there and be like Beaker from the Muppets. Unless that's your thing. I mean, if that's your shtick, then I guess that's okay. But the majority of people don't want to see that. But, this is something that everyone says, oh, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Well, prove it. $300 for 2 months gets you an audition. If you don't make it past the first audition, you can wait another 2 months and then you get another one. I mean, it's a great way for you to test out your skills if you have that kind of cash lying around. Even if you don't, that's, what second mortgages are for, right? Right, Abe?
Yeah. No, it's my turn. Sorry. Well, this is where like you have to measure yourself like against the commissioner himself. Let's throw questions to him, and let's you get thrown questions like I don't know what kind of question, like maybe just 5 pointers to prove your knowledge in movie trivia. But also this is a reminder of how important that the Schmoedown is not just a trivia show, but it's also a show. Like it's important that you're a good performer, and if you as a fan think you can have it, well, drop $600 and you get your audition.
Yeah, I can't even think about an additional $600, but if I could, I would love this because I would just like Christian to tell me I'm not good enough. I think that would make my life complete. Wow, that's sad. Chris, what do you think about this tier? You should sign up for it. You want to be on the Schmoedown.
Oh, don't I? Don't I ever? How many times do I, keep playing this shtick of, oh, I can do this. I could totally do this. And to be fair, I do a version of it, but of course, though, if I could give this amount of money, again, it's not just because, oh, I want to do. I mean, sure, would I love to do the audition? Oh, hell yeah! Would I love to, get the kind of questions that Christian asks me and gives me the kind of pressure that he gives the Schmoedown? Of course, I would love that. But that's not the reason that I would give this amount if I could. I would give this amount because I'd want to give this amount. And yeah, I'm being serious when I say that. Like, of course, the Skype call with Christian and the audition would be amazing, but that's not why I'd want to do it. So.
Yeah, I mean the tiers are the incentive for this. So like, I think some people will give $300 for that. There's some other things that are a little more expensive than that people have given because of the tier. So there's nothing wrong with seeing a tier and saying, I can spare $600. That's fine. Do it. I mean, that's $600 they can use for Dino's Pizza. Matt, what did you think about this tier, and how long is it going to take you to save up $600?
Oh, well, quite a while. But I think this is a great tier. I think every fan's dream is to be able to compete in the Schmoedown. It's definitely mine. If I had the $600 to do this, you know what? Sure, I'd do it, and I would get on this Skype call, and who knows? Maybe I would do well, maybe I wouldn't, but just sort of getting to that sort of first step to maybe one day being in a Schmoedown match is just awesome for the fans who are able to pay for it, and I am a little jealous of the fans who are able to do it because I wish I could do it.
Yep. Yeah, me too. Really, really jealous. I'm having a brain moment where I don't remember if I went to Abe or not.
Yeah, you did. You started with it.
Oh, good. I was like,
you didn't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Fine. What are your thoughts, Abe?
No, just kidding. You did.
Yeah.
Jeez, I was 98% sure that I did. Abe, you person. Okay. So, if I didn't have to go to Matt, I was going to make a great transition with Dino's Pizza because that's the next tier. At $1,000, you get to eat Dino's Pizza at a taping of a match. So that was my transition. Oops. I think that this is awesome. Number one, because I love pizza. Number two, because I love the Schmoedown. So that's pretty cool. But you get to be there. You get to be at an event. And I think that's so cool. Obviously, this is a very limited tier, and they don't want, a million people signing up for this to go watch it because it's a fire hazard, and they just can't put that many people in in this building. And it's really cool. You do have to get to California and find somewhere to stay. And, you know, outside of the Dino's Pizza, you know, you probably should eat something else because, especially if John Roque is there, he will dive across the table,
Literally.
eat the pizza out of your hands. So, you know, just make sure there's food for you. But everything else, like being at the Schmoedown and the pizza itself, is included in this $1,000 prize. So that's pretty cool. It's awesome. Like, if I hadn't already gone, like, I would have been like trying to figure out how I could pay $1,000. Like, can I save $1,000? Probably. And I would have gladly given it. Seriously, I would have given it. And yeah, for sure. Matt, what did you think about this tier?
Remember how I just said kind of the dream of every Schmoedown fan is to compete? That is true, but the real big dream is to be able to go. I would just it would be the coolest thing in the world, and I'm sitting in the presence of two people who were able to live the dream. It would be so cool to be able to go and to just be able to watch a match being filmed. I don't care what match it is, just to sort of be in the studio and to sort of be able to meet the competitors and Christian and Mark and all this. It would be the coolest experience in the world. And I wish I had $1,000 so that I would be able to experience this.
Yeah, I wish I had $1,000 for multiple reasons, but like that's also one of the reasons. Abe, do you happen to have $1,000 just lying around?
Not right now. I don't pay that much
Oh
of rent.
man.
But but you know, watching a taping of this Schmoedown will be great. Meeting the competitors will be great, but nothing will be as great as eating Dino's pizza with a Schmoedown competitor. That's the greatest thing could ever happen to you. And if I had $1,000 right now, I would drive to California and just 4 hours away from LA and eat Dino's pizza with, I don't know, Scott Mats.
Hey, pizza with Mance. I think that sounds like a lovely date. Chris, do you want to join Abe's pizza date with Scott Mance?
That would be just amazing if I could join Abe's pizza date with Mance. But you know, yeah, like this now I shall be 100% honest. I do feel this is a tad bit on the steep side. I feel like this could have been 500, and you could be given a guaranteed spot, a guaranteed invitation to come on out, and you know, and that would sound a little more fair. But I get it where they're probably expecting a lot of the bigger donors to actually be living in the California area, so that's a little more understandable. So I you know, my opinion is neither here nor there in terms of that stuff. You know, but trust me, for those of you who are able to give this much, I'll be honest. What, you know, to quickly say something that you'll enjoy the most when you're actually there at the taping, eating Dino's pizza. Honestly, this is just for me, but the thing that I still enjoy the most from being at Spectacular was it wasn't meeting the competitors. It wasn't seeing the stage. It wasn't seeing all the other fun stuff. It was hearing Christian Harloff scream at the top of his lungs, "Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the movie trivia Schmoedown," and literally screaming that at the top of my lungs with him while he said that, and him just looking over at that crowd who was all screaming it with him, and him just smiling. That was the highlight. That was a personal highlight for me, just being like, I'm here.
I mean, yeah, you just imagine like a tear coming out of his eye and he like brushes it away softly. Yeah, but it's a little pricey, guys, but there's a reason for it. There are people who have paid for these tiers, as far as I know, based on comments. So it's not too pricey for everybody, but if it was cheaper, then it would fill up, and then no one would get a chance to try for it. So it's strategic. I think that they're, trying to make it a little more pricey. They want people to actually pay that amount. And if they're going to pay that amount, then why not make it that pricey? Talking of pricey, $2,000 that I don't have is having a reserved seat at any pay-per-view event of your choosing. Now, there was someone on MTS who was confused about the pay-per-view. You don't have to pay for the Schmoedown.
It's a wrestling term.
Yes, it's like if you were gonna watch like a sporting event that was on TV that you had to pay extra for. The Schmoedown itself will always be on Collider. You're not going to be charged to watch the match itself. It's just like a term they're using for a special event. So the Spectacular, the Collider Collision, and the Free-for-all coming up in just a few months. These are all, amazing events. If you have a chance to go to it, if you have $2,000, I very highly suggest that, you try and go to one of these matches. I know $2,000 is a lot, obviously. But if this is something that you want to do, go for it. It is such an amazing experience to be in that room with all the competitors watching these matches. There is nothing quite like it in the world. And yeah, I know it's pricey, but these are huge events. Like the filming for the Spectacular was like all day. And when I say all day, I mean like we got there at like 10:30 and filming started around 11:30, and then we left at like 6:30 all day. Like 3 meals worth of Schmoedown. So you can tell I tell my time by meals, and that's fine. But this is really cool. I love this. There are people who will think this is too pricey. You know what? Let's put a price on the Schmoedown on going there and seeing it live. I think 2,000 is fine. I think there are people who've paid for this, so it's fine for other people too. Chris, what are your thoughts on this one?
Okay, so again, slightly controversial. I do feel like maybe because of with this kind of price, maybe what they could have done is at least say it's reserved seat, and maybe we'll pay for your airfare, not your hotel or something like that. But just again, that's just me speaking a little bit selfishly, just because in terms of like what really is getting the bang for my buck. But simultaneously, again, if you're gonna have this kind of money to be able to give, chances are you're gonna have the money for your own flight and hotel. So honestly, I can't really say too much against that. It's just something that I know for a fact they thought about it. I know for a fact they thought about it. But again, I'm not gonna fault them too hard, and I'm not gonna be too critical about it. But it's just something that I was thinking about for a second when I was reading this, but I'm like, no, this is still fair, and it's still a great opportunity. So, yeah.
Yep, and we do have Brienne in our chat. She did make a point, and this is kind of the point that I've been making, is that if you pay for airfare, it really limits who can go. And it's basically like, we'll pay for your airfare, but only if it's this much. And so if you are any more expensive than that, we aren't going to pay for it. So like if someone from the UK signs up for it and says, hey, I want to go to the Spectacular, and they say, well, sorry, we can't pay for your airfare because it's way too expensive, then it's a no-go. Like my airfare to Spectacular was like over $500. So it can get pricey.
I got lucky.
It can get real pricey. And if I wanted to go to California right now, it's like $300, and it varies. So it's kind of like, it's not something they can really put in there. Like maybe they give you a stipend. We'll give you $20 for lunch. I don't know. But, if you think about the logistics of it, there's not a great way for them to say something like, we'll pay for your airfare. It just creates some sort of weird, I don't know, price gap or something. Matt, what do you think about this?
Yeah, this would reserve. Wow, to be able to, I mean, again, in the presence of two people who went to a pay-per-view event, lucky people, and you didn't have to pay the Schmoedown Patreon $2,000 a month to be able to do it, lucky people. Yeah, that, man, to be able to go to like Spectacular or Collision or Free for All or something would be so cool, because it's like a normal match, but like expanded and bigger and a little bit more important. I think definitely to go to this point we've brought up about airfare and everything. Yeah, it makes sense, because you don't want to limit the people who can go, because that's a great way to dissuade someone from doing this tier. If it's like, but if you don't live in the US, we're not paying your airfare. So yeah, this tier for anyone who can do it, you should do it to be able to go and see one of these matches. I mean, we've all seen Take 3's behind the scenes videos, Taylor's, Late to the Parties. These big events are pretty awesome.
Yeah, super, super awesome. Ava, what do you think about this tier to go to one of these pay-per-view events?
Well, as someone that lives in California, it will be really easy for me to just go back and forth. But as you say, that airfare cost and the hotel cost, it will be, if you have the money to give 2,000 for Patreon, you probably have the money to afford the other things. But it's what you have to do to get there. And as your experience, guys, where like that studio gets really hot when there's a lot of people, and I guess they will want that to not be that
Well,
hot at the time.
and plus, something I think we've all completely forgotten with these last couple tiers is that luckily it's not a monthly thing; it's just a one-time payment, but it is still quite a bit. But still, it's and because I completely blanked on that, oops. It is something that actually does sound a little more worth it. Where if it's a reserve seat for any pay-per-view, like let's say I put it down now, and I want to save it for Collision, boom, I'm guaranteed admittance to Collision. So
Yeah, it's basically like me getting my tax returns back and being like, hey, I kind of want to go to free for all. I guess I'll just donate it to Patreon. I mean, like, what else are my tax returns for? But yeah, it is just the one-time payment, so that's very important. Thank you, Brienne, for making that very clear. And thank you, Brienne, for setting a lot of this up. I mean, she was really involved in getting the Patreon going and getting the tiers set up. So Brienne's the best, basically, is what we're saying.
Yeah. Hello. Come on now.
Duh. Brienne's the best. We're getting into the Kristen really, 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 really can't afford it tiers here. And $4,000. Nope.
Yep.
This will get you a spot into the 2018 free-for-all. Yeah, this is the big one. This is a guaranteed spot. No audition. You just have to be there on the day they film and donate the money. Once the money is processed, they'll give you the information. You show up. You compete in the free-for-all. Yeah, that's a big deal. I don't know anyone who's paying for this yet, but I know people who have talked a big game, and this is your chance, guys. This is $4,000. And honestly, this is one of the tiers that I am like, that is the correct price for this tier. Like $4,000 is the correct price for you pay it, you show up, you compete. Like, yes, I think that's correct. And I am interested to see if anyone has signed up for this. I haven't seen anything, but I wouldn't be surprised at all. This is crazy. So this is extremely limited, though. So it's only 2 patrons allowed for this. And yeah. So I don't know if anyone signed up for this yet. That's insane. But the other thing that's big about this is if you win the free-for-all, you get your shot at whatever belt you want. So some person can just pay $4,000, show up at the free-for-all. If they win it, they can win a belt. Just some guy from off the street. Who knows? Some guy from off the street with $4,000. I mean, seems kind of far-fetched, but that's fine. That's fine. Matt, how long will it take you to save $4,000? Do you think you have an opportunity to save $4,000 before they film the free-for-all?
Yeah, it take a very, very long time. Also, I would, if I had $4,000, I don't think I would want to spend it on this tier. I would be way too nervous to compete in the free for all. Are you kidding me? I mean, it would be awesome if I would say be like number 35 or something, win, and then challenge Sam Whitworth for the star. That would be a pretty cool thing. Wouldn't happen at all, but you know, if you're one of these two people, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think that's like the dream right there, is just to be at the same table as Sam Whitwer. Oh, you mean at trivia? Oh, yeah. No, that's completely different. Yep, Chris, what do you think about this tier?
Well, I'm going to be at the casino this weekend. I'm going to raise about $10,000 so I can lay down 4 to participate in the free-for-all. Another 2 to take care of my airfare and hotel. And then after I win the free-for-all, I'm gonna grab I'm just gonna grab a teammate of my choosing, maybe one Rachel Cushing, and we'll go take down the Patriots. How about that, guys? I like that idea. Okay, no, I wish okay, this is the one super selfish tier that if I swear to God, if I had the money right now, right this second, I'm throwing it down. Because, like, if there was ever a place to make your debut in the free-for-all, make your debut in the Schmoedown, it's the free-for-all. I mean, before the free-for-all, everyone thought that Mark Andreyko was, well, sadly, kind of a joke. Because after his match against Bibiani, he wasn't doing that hot, and then all of a sudden, boom, free-for-all happened. That completely turned his Schmoedown career around. And who's to say it couldn't happen to some lucky fan who happened to have the money and happened to lay it down? You never know.
Weirder things have happened. Abe, are you guys going to get kicked out of your house or whatever because you took all the money for rent to pay for your entrance into the free-for-all?
No, I was actually gonna offer a Lincoln car, 4000 Navigator. I don't know what year is it, but if anyone's interested of buying it, just contact me on Twitter, DM me. No, but this is a good one, to be honest. Just, it's not only like you're competing, you're making your dream true, but my prediction is in this year free for all is gonna be plus 50 competitors. Maybe you're gonna meet all of them, and you're gonna face. If you're good, you're probably gonna face all 50. But this is amazing, and only 2 people makes sense. Like 4000 is good.
Yeah.
Prove yourself.
Perfect. So if you're interested in Abe's car, send
My mom's.
Oh, send a note to Take 3, and we'll let you know. But yeah, so this one, it is important to know if you do want to join this tier, other than it just being extremely limited, it does have to go through before March 1st so that they can process it. It has to be in the month before March. So if you're interested in that, go ahead, $4,000. I mean, shoot, go for it. That'd be awesome. I look forward to your debut in the Schmoedown. The last tier, and this one is a very special tier. It is not like a normal person tier. This is the sponsorship tier. It's 10 grand. So yeah, it's a lot of money. A lot of money. This is more than some people make in a year, but this isn't for an individual person. This is for someone who has a brand or a podcast or something that they want to promote. And basically what this does is you get, when you sign up for this in a month, you get a shout out on the Movie Trivia Schmoedown, the actual show itself. So they'll tell you like a few things that they can or can't do. Other than that, like, this is just your chance to get some really good promotion. And there are some crazy fans in the Schmoedown. I mean, there are very loyal fans. And so if you want to promote your brand to people who go all in on things, the Schmoedown's a great place to do that. I mean, you look at all the after shows for the Schmoedown, it's got fans who will go all out for it. So I think this is really cool. I'm interested to see if brands do pick up on this, because I think that it's a great opportunity to get that promotion. And, I think it could be really cool. But I'd be interested to see what kind of brands actually would sign up for this too. So, Abe, what do you think about this? Are you going to promote your brand?
I'm gonna promote my show that I'm not allowed to talk about it right here, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Well, this is actually for brands. It makes sense. Like, I don't know, Coca-Cola, 7-Eleven. I know 7-Eleven wants it, like wants to be on the Schmoedown, like top tier, and $10,000. That's just for brands, to be honest. I don't know who is able to pay that for. I want to meet that person and be his friend or her.
Like, I have $10,000, but it's in
I
my savings
don't.
account and it stays there in case something really
Yeah.
bad happens.
Yeah, you need to eat.
So it doesn't go to the Schmoedown. It does not. It goes to emergencies. Chris, what are you gonna do with your $10,000?
Well, I was gonna put that towards making a 3-part rock opera, but I guess I'm gonna go throw it towards the Schmoedown and maybe be like their live band or something. I'm kidding, but which I'm not gonna lie, that'd be pretty sweet to see, like during like an intermission. That'd be cool. Anyway, enough stalling. No, like, yeah, this would be a great promotional tool for, let's say there's an up-and-coming shoe shop that's starting to do pretty well and could afford to give a sponsorship, but maybe they just need that little extra push just as they're starting to go on a national promotion for all their product. Well, then, hey, put it on the Schmoedown. Put a couple ads. Put an ad before the match, and maybe have Makuga or Makuga have Ellis or Harloff say something about their shoes during the match. That would seriously be so beneficial for whatever stuff. Or it could be like a jeweler, or maybe a car dealership, or hey, maybe Dino's Pizza. But bottom line, like, seriously, businesses in the Los Angeles, California area, seriously, I'm serious. Go look into seeing what you can do to maybe promote your brand through this, because this is actually kind of brilliant. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Brienne, Harloff, you guys came up with something pretty awesome here. Like, so I really hope it pays off for you guys. I really mean that.
Yeah, me too. Like, no show can really exist without sponsorships. That's why you have commercials on television. Matt, what do you think about this tier? What sponsor do you want to see show up in the Schmoedown?
I think this is a really great tier. I think like, my parents always watch that show Shark Tank, and like, if you're one of these people and you have this great product or something, I mean, look at us. We're all a bunch of really passionate fans, and if you get for a lot of people, if you get the right competitor and the right person that's like, hey, you should go and buy this, they'll go and buy that. If Team Action says go buy these brand of tissues, I'm probably going to put my suit and shades on and go and buy those tissues. That's just how this works. What would I like to see? Like, a sponsor? Definitely would love to see a Ken Napzok 7-Eleven commercial before a Schmoedown match. 100% would want to see that. I would also, being a Team Action fan, but you know what? I'm not a completely, without fault one. I would love to see a Men's Warehouse action commercial before a match. Just something like that. Be fun.
That sounds really fitting. Get it? Because it suits, so it's fitting. Okay. All right. So that's the Patreon. There are so many things on this. And while we were talking, the Patreon is officially over. Well, not over. It's at 1,000 patrons. So that's awesome. It took like a day and some change to get to 1,000 patrons. That's ridiculously amazing. I mean, that's so cool. So my favorite thing to do right now is to just hit that refresh button and watch the patrons roll on in for this. So congratulations, you guys. 1,000 patrons, such a big deal. I'm super excited about this. I cannot wait to start getting my content from the Patreon. You know, that monthly newsletter is going to be super helpful for us, I think. But other than that, there's so much cool content on here. Matt, do you have any words you want to say to wrap this up on the Patreon?
I'm really excited that the Patreon is launched. Christian has been talking about wanting to do this for a while, and now it's here. Now we get to see these tiers, and I like, again, you know, it's been a while since we talked about the early tiers, but I like the fact that Christian and Brienne and the rest of the crew that's doing this, if you are giving even $1 to the Schmoedown, you're getting something cool. And this is all to just, I love the Schmoedown. I watch it I watch it every single week, even in January when there hasn't been new matches up. So the fact that there now exists something that I can, no matter how small, I can support this show, that just makes me happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And why don't you tell everyone where you can be found on the internet?
You guys, as always, can find me at current_Matthew on Twitter, MattMovie611 on YouTube, and host of the new show Second Look, which premieres this upcoming Monday on Take 3. And also, please check out the Schmoedown Fan Awards. It went up on Tuesday. Brian Chandler, who's in the chat, was nice enough to help out with that, as well as a lot of the career at Take 3. So it'd be awesome if you guys could share that video around.
Definitely. Absolutely. Chris Dohmen, where can the people find you on the internet? And what are your last thoughts about the Schmoedown Patreon?
Oh, Kristen. Oh, Kristen. Thou shalt be thankful that I was one of the people who said I really want you on this team, and I still mean that. So I love you. Okay, no, Brienne and Harloff and everybody who was involved in the putting together of this entire Patreon campaign, and everybody who, is and all of you guys who are going forward and contributing and spreading the word about it and trying to get the Schmoedown the amount of love that it honestly does deserve. Thank you. And this is something that's incredible. It's gonna do great numbers. It is. I mean, look at that. In less than 2 days, it's already hit. It's already hit 2/5 of the first goal. So, maybe maybe within a week we can hit that first goal and we can get working towards that 4,000 and maybe the 8,000 one after. Like, come on, guys, let's make this happen. But and of course, again, I just want to wish the Collider crew and of course Brienne, who is, by the sounds of it, more than happy to be taking on this thing as the head of the Patreon campaign. And Brienne, thank you. But you guys can find me on Twitter and my band Last Shot Redemption at LSARBandMN. You guys can follow Take 3 Productions on Twitter and Instagram at Take 3 Trivia. And you guys can find me on Letterboxd and Stardust at Chris Take 3. Also, right here, hosting our Star Wars show, Nights of the Podcast, every Thursday. And yeah, that'll about do it.
Perfect. Abe, our last person, but definitely not the least person on this panel, where can we find you on the interwebs? And also, what were your thoughts overall about the Patreon?
The Patreon is magnificent. It's everything. You can reach as a Schmoedown fan. And if you're listening Mexican music in the background, it's because I live next to a pharmacy and they don't shut up. But you can find me on the streets of Mexico without a car and a house because I spend it all. And follow me on Twitter at AbrahamF25. Thank you for having me.
Perfect. And as always, Take 3 is sponsored by my really loud heater. It's cold in Michigan. I don't care. I'm not turning off my heater to record. So you can find me at Smith_K10, the number, not the word, on Twitter, Instagram, and Stardust. You can also find me right here on Take 3, hosting our live watch-alongs. Tomorrow, we will get to be watching an Above the Line classic. Tomorrow is Friday. Saturday, you will get to watch us watching an Above the Line classic. Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans. And I'm really excited. One of my favorite sports movies of all time. So I love that movie. I can't wait. But yep, you can see me on here and also on the summits with normally Jacob, but occasionally with me. So that's awesome. And we do have a special treat for everyone who did stick around to the end. We have an exclusive interview with Rachel the Crusher Cushing, the one, the only, my queen. And you guys don't want to miss this. She talks about so many great things, and she's also just a joy to have on at any time we can get her. So stick around for this exclusive interview. Other than that, we want to wish you all a very good night, and we hope that you all take care.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us, Rachel. You have an absolutely huge match to open up the 2018 Schmoedown this Friday, which is huge. Do you want to, how are you feeling going into this match on Friday?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm really happy that we all got the break that we did between Spectacular and the new season starting. I think that most of us, especially those of us that played in both tournaments, plus I was playing in the Inner Geekdom #1 contender match and the handicap match. I played a lot in the last couple of months of last year, so it was nice to take a break. But once Christmas was over and the New Year came in, I was ready to get back into it. So I've been going through my list of movies that, the to watch list, and I've been going over some of my spreadsheets and playing trivia apps and just getting back into the mode. And I feel refreshed. So I feel like I'm in the best place I can be going to match against two guys who are really strong competitors.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about your competitors. Mike Kalinowski, he's now the nice guy of the league, and you're going up against one of the biggest villains of the league in JTE. Are you intimidated? Are you nervous? Or how do you feel going in against these two competitors?
As far as competitors go, they're both two of the best. I mean, and clearly last season proved that. I think that JTE is just somebody that everybody has just stopped underestimating. And I'm really curious because I think that JT and I are both well-rounded, but our strengths are very different. So his strengths scare me, but I think my strengths scare him. So that's going to be an interesting match. Whereas Mike and I have a lot of the same strengths. So it's going to be really an interesting dynamic, all three of us up at the table at the same time. And I'm trying not to think about it in character terms, like, yeah, one is a heel, one is a face. Truth be told, I'm friends with both of them. But for me, it's about the trivia on that day, and it's about getting more questions right than they get.
So I just want to talk a bit about other than this match. Last season, you were at the center of arguably one of the biggest storylines that happened. I haven't actually been able to have a sit-down chance to talk to you about the handicap match. Do you want to just go through your feelings and thoughts about the handicap match? Because it certainly caused a massive stir within the entire Schmoedown.
Yeah, I won't lie. It was a hard day. It was something that I'm very glad I did. And, to play 1 against 2 like that was intimidating, and I was nervous and the nerves showed. I still wish I'd played better, but I think I said it best in that post interview, was like, I played. And that is my mantra with this game, is you fight with everything you have at any given time and you play the best game you can. And some people don't believe in that. And the stab in the back that I got, you know what, Ken, you made a mistake, and he'll find that out as the new season starts. But it was a crazy, crazy day, but so good for the league, so good for the storylines. Ken leaned into that so hard, and it's hard not to be impressed by it, even though it meant him going to the dark side.
Yeah. Spectacular teased something for the Schmoedown fans, a certain team match between Ken and his now Emperor Palpatine, Tom Dagnito, and yourself and a unknown teammate. Can you give the Reactor Summit fans any sort of hint or anything at all, just for us to just hang on to, that we could possibly, something to hold us by until we find out who your teammate will be?
With making sure that Christian doesn't get too angry with me, I think it's safe to say that this person, we're gonna kick ass. Like this person and I are, I think, really well matched in terms of our strengths and weaknesses, and I think that the way we're going to complement each other is really going to make us a formidable team, and I'm so excited about it. It wasn't an easy decision because there were a lot of possibilities, and I'm loving all the theories that are getting thrown out, and they all make sense in different ways, but this one just, it clicked for us in a way that we're really excited to announce and to get in the ring, and I'm excited to crush Dagnino and Ken, get the closure I need, and then me and my teammate will be making a run for a belt.
Well, I cannot wait, and I cannot wait for the end of 2018 where we are saying that Rachel Cushing and whoever your partner is have beaten the Patriots and taken the belt from them. And I can't wait until we say that you've beaten Sam Levine and taken the belt from him. So thank you so much for sitting down and taking the time out of your day to have this interview. Thank you very much for this, and I cannot wait to see you in the 2018 tournament. Season, sorry, and I can't wait to see this number one contenders match, because it's going to be an absolute incredible match.
Like, we're going to start the year with a bang, so I'm happy to come on and chat it with you guys. So thanks for having me.